I'm trying desperately to get a better job and struggling with an adult child with mental health, a bit exhausted and drained. All right. Well, thank you for being here. And I'm just getting right away that I keep getting that you should be patting yourself on the back and like really giving yourself credit because, as an example, you showed up today. Like you showed up here. You're exhausted and drained, but you came here. I don't know. Again, if you just jumped in, you probably missed the collective readings. Definitely go listen to them. I'm getting that you may relate more to the first reading in particular. So you could just put a pin in that. And when I actually put it out later today, or you're in Australia, so depending on the time, maybe you watch it tomorrow. But the first collective reading, I'm getting that that's one to really pay attention to. I just can't, I'm doing this because I keep getting there's a pin. I just keep seeing that you're putting a pin in it. But yeah, I also keep getting like giving yourself credit, pats on the back, giving yourself a hug. When's the last time you gave yourself a hug? Feel free to do it right now. Like giving yourself a hug, giving yourself a squeeze. Self-love, self-care seems really depleted. So it's like the exhaustion, the feeling drained is because you're pouring from a bit of an empty cup. To wing this back around to the job, I'm going to pause because obviously you mentioned a few things in here, but that just seems like the table setting for you. What is your self-love practice? What is your self-care practice? Do you not have one? Do you have any sort of aversion to this idea of it being a practice, as if that means it will take up so much of your time? And you're like, I already have a bunch of things I'm dealing with. If so, it can be something that's really, really small, such as giving yourself a hug each morning and each night. For whatever reason, that keeps being the example that comes up, is like giving yourself a hug, taking like a big deep breath. If you want to compliment yourself, if you want to give yourself a little pep talk, you can do that. But taking a quick moment, it feels like that's a nice reset for you. You can do it in 10 seconds if you'd like. Don't shortchange yourself and have it be any less than 3. All right, so let's get some other details here. Trying to get a better job. Just feels like there's... So I'm seeing a house. So it's as if the house is overfilled. So there's so much furniture. There's so many things in it that it's going to break through all the windows. It's like the house is expanding, but it can't expand. It feels like it's overstuffed. I don't know why it's specifically a house, but like it's at the brink of, so much. It's really packed. There's too much going on in there. Very much so many people in the house. Okay. Again, I'll just share what's coming through without filtering. Is your job is not to take care of everyone. How does it feel when you hear that? You don't have to share in the chat if you don't want, but just take a moment, like take a breath with that. How does that feel? How does that notion feel to you? Does that feel uncomfortable? Does that feel upsetting? Very uncomfortable. My son and his partner and their child too, and my other son and my partner. Oh my gosh, yeah. That is a lot of people. Okay. So just taking a moment, maybe do it in a hug, and think about that question again. Why is it that you feel that you have to take care of everyone? Can be rhetorical, can be a journal prompt. Could be a journal prompt if you want to write that down. And maybe you could free write on it for a few minutes. Why do I feel that I need to take care of everyone? This, to me, and feel free to confirm, this this feels like it is related to the trying to get a better job, like trying to get a better job being tied to, again, the word that's coming in is the compulsion to be caring for everyone. So it could be providing financially, or just to fund whatever support is needed, maybe for your child that you're talking about that has the mental health issues or challenges, and or other things. And of course, the bills, it feels like bills, the overhead, I don't know, status of if it's an apartment or if it's mortgage. I just keep getting this like, feels like a list. It's like a list of so many things. Um, I think it's a little control issue too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Can relate. So where are we trying to go with this? Just flip over the card, getting interrupted and flipping over the card. So reminder for anyone that's coming in, the deck we're using today is Moonchild Tarot Decks. These are tarot cards. Oh, this is great. Oh my gosh, Joanna, this is wonderful. This is wonderful. Okay, so think about what we were just talking about. I'll show the card in a second. The house is too full. There's too many people. There's so much that you're taking on. You're looking to receive more to support and fund. You're looking to be able to do more. What we have here for you is the King of Pentacles, which is the abundance card. This is about, again, we have like this too much, but we also want more at the same time. So how do we master that? The King is the mastery. This is the highest card in the minor arcana. It's mastery. So when we can master our relationship with abundance versus scarcity. So do I have enough? Am I doing enough? Am I being enough? Am I enough? Does it actually have to do with me at all? Is what I'm offering, is what I'm giving sufficient? I'm getting something about boundaries. What boundaries do I have in place? Boundaries can be containers. Do I have the containers to be able to hold what I want to receive, what I want an abundance of? Again, I don't know if this applies, but I'll just use this as an example because we're talking about it. The house being overfilled. I'm not saying go get a new house. I'm just saying this for this example. This is not channeling. This is just brain using an example here. You would say, well, if we have too much, we have an abundance, but it's out of alignment, then it either means we have to get rid of, but we're in a calling in. We're in a calling in energy. So if we're in a calling in energy, then the solution from this lens is that we would get the bigger house. So how can you apply that to whatever issue, whatever area of life? So when we're thinking about the better job, is the better job, are you approaching it from the lens of, well, I need this, I need that scarcity? Or are you approaching it from the lens of mastery, of I understand my worth, I understand my skill set, my abilities. I deserve to get a job that has better benefits, better pay, better hours, better working conditions and schedule. I am worthy of that and I am calling that in. That's a totally different perspective than, oh my gosh, okay, I really need a better job. And I know this can be hard to do. This is easier said than done. But that's the approach we're taking. Looking at each of the areas of our life and how can we just flip that a little bit to say, if I'm coming at this from the abundance mindset and from the abundant and master perspective, how could I look at this differently? And then I keep getting and giving yourself an abundance of hugs. So if you're doing one of these exercises, if you're doing this journaling prompt that I mentioned at the beginning, if you're sitting here and you're doing these thought exercises, okay, let me start with my job. Let me start with the current living situation. Let me start with the particular relationship I have with this child, adult child. Any other relationships I have, friendships, relationship with self-love and self-care, whatever it is. You could just go down the line, pick the different topics. Being in the hug while you're doing it, like having your own back as you are encouraging yourself. Again, this is trying to be supportive, encouraging you to think and live more abundantly, which feels like, again, it feels like the oxymoron here of what do you mean? I have too much of certain things in my life. I can't do more. I can't handle more. I can't think about more. It would be more for me to manage. And that's when it gets back to why, if you're thinking about, if it's control, thinking about needing to take care of everyone. Well, if you're abundant, maybe a thing that you call in is help and support or other people stepping up. Like there's so many avenues. Just because you have more, does it have to mean, if you approach it with quote unquote right perspective, different perspective, aligned perspective, that it means it's inherently more work? You can have more, but it's about the foundational approach. Pentacles is earth. It's grounded, it's calm, it's centered. It's not going to rush. It's not going to be impulsive. It's thinking with the long term and the long game in mind. It's about earning, earning your stripes. You got your stripes already. You are here. You have worked hard. You've done a great job. You deserve more. And more can be so many things. And that's why it feels like this is a taking inventory of your life type activity. How can I have more? Doesn't mean more of the problem. We don't want the problems to get bigger. But what could we have more of from other people, in the material, from within ourselves, in order to tackle it and make some of those things that feel too big smaller? So I'm seeing like the house. So the house is big. It feels like it's going to burst. We can shrink the items. It's like an Alice in Wonderland thing. We can shrink the items. Again, it feels like it's a contradiction. We're asking for more, but by asking for more, we can allow certain things to shrink. Hopefully this is making sense to you, and hopefully this resonates. I know there was a lot that was tucked in there. Love the self-hugs. Definitely need better boundaries with the kids. I feel like better job will be more rewarding. Okay, so like manifesting. Yes. Yes. So one of the key frameworks for manifesting is one, gratitude. And gratitude is on a high vibrational energy, the same as abundance, as flow of joy, of just being open. So when you're grounded, when you're rooted, pentacles, earth, you're so sound, you're calm, you're relaxed. You're not like, running around, oh my God, what do I do? That's when we can receive. We're like, I'm just going to plant my flag here. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm worth. I know what would help me to live happily, not what do I need. I know what will help me to live happily. That's just a little bit of a reframe to help me so I can be content, so that I can feel supported, rooted, because I want to stay in that energy. I am the master of that domain. So we're going to embody that. We're going to become that even if we don't currently feel that way. Hugs, self-love, mindset shift towards the abundance. Different ways to ask for more. Not thinking about how can we do more. We're asking for more. We're calling in more. Calling in, manifesting. Yes, one and the same. Good. I'm glad it resonates. You're very welcome. I'm always so curious if there's anybody else aside from Joanna who happened to resonate with that reading or wants to give Joanna some words of encouragement. Feel free. Yeah, it's just the reassurance. I love the fact that it was so much about the hugging and then getting like the most grounded, supportive, hard